My main man, Stubbsy. How the devil are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Adam. How are you today?
I'm good, and I love the fact that I always ask that question, because like these videos could be being watched in a year's time, and it just, it may not be true. You may not be fine. You may be even better than fine. But Stubbsy, we're going to talk about a game called A Pixel Story, which people are seeing right now. Have you heard of it very much at all?
Not very much. I've heard of the title. I'm thinking it's some sort of platformy 2D type deal, but other than that, I know very, very little.
It is exactly that. It's developed by a team called Lamplight Studios, but Stubbsy, the publisher is Channel 4.
As in the TV station, Channel 4?
As in Channel 4, the TV station, as in when you boot the game up, there's the 4 logo on the splash screens, which is weird, to be honest. But it is a 2D platformer, but so far I haven't really seen any combat. It's more similar to Portal. While I just let your mind recover from being blown there. Yeah, Portal and Portal 2, because the idea, the story here is that you're going through the generations of gaming. So you start off in like 8-bit, I think it is, and you get a key to a bridge, and you go to the next generation, which is slightly better looking. And if people were to hunt down the trailers, you'll see I think in the trailer it shows like the fourth, like the advanced generation, and it looks just a lot better. The game looks really nice. Not that it doesn't look nice, but you know what I mean.
So it kind of sounds like it starts. So you're saying it starts off like really old, like blocky style pixel graphics, and then as you get further on, is that right? It gets nicer
exactly
looking.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, there's like a hub area called the bedroom, which people will have seen at the very start of this video, and it splits into those generations so that you can literally walk from the left, which is the beginning, walk towards the right, and as you walk towards the right, you go through zones in that singular screen, which change the visual quality, and you can pick which one and then go into it. Like there's a map. It's mostly like a Portal 2D platformer, because you've got this hat, right? Which looks a bit like Mario's hat, if I'm honest, but you've got this hat, and if you're using a controller, the Xbox controller, let's say, if you press X, you leave that hat behind, and you can walk off, and if you hit X again, you go back to that hat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so as soon as... it only goes back to the hat if you're not wearing it, obviously.
Yeah, so you press X. So for example, say you're pulling a lever to open a gate, but you pull the lever, the gate goes up, but you run back to the gate and the gate closes by the time you get there. So the solution to that puzzle is to leave your hat right next to the gate, run over to the lever, sorry, English, aren't I? Pull the lever, hit X, warp straight back to the hat, comfortably walk out the gate.
Right, I've got you. That seems like quite a simple idea.
It is, but it's very Portal, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can see how it could become more complex.
It does very quickly, and actually this is one of my problems with the game so far. So there's jump pads. Well, they're springs. They're just springs. You jump on them, you bounce higher, yeah? Simple Sonic-style springs in this case. So say there's a gap, you can't jump, right? You sort of put your hat in just near the gap, and jump, and then hit X, and the inertia of you jumping carries on as if literally the hat is a portal and you jump at a higher level. So if you use a spring and you hit X as soon as you bounce off the spring, you get a great deal of inertia flying you up into the air, or whichever way you're facing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, you would be seeing this in the video. And it's an idea that I really like. It's, as you say, it's quite simple. The problem is I don't find the general platforming to be quite tight enough. It's of a style, but I find that I'm dying a lot, and mostly due to the jumping. Not that it's plain bad, because it's not. It's a good game. Like, this is a good game. To whatever I'm saying here, it's good. I just so far don't feel it's brilliant, where it feels like the idea and the execution's full of how to put it, but it's very computery. Like, you're talking to a robot guy, and he's talking about, right, so to get out of this area you need to go to the kernel, and it's spelt Kernel.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
It is, yeah, that's actually quite good. And it's kind of But there's talk. It's a bit Tron-like as well at times. Like you're talking to some guy, like it's this old guy earlier on in the game, and he's like, I've been here since the first generation wars, and now that all the the fourth generation are using all the power from here to, and it's really, I suppose, meta would be the way of putting it, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah. Does that stuff does it feel forced or weird that they're just constantly harking back to the older times and trying to reference that, or does it actually feel good and natural?
I think it feels fine. It seems to be quite humorous. Like the game starts in a weird way, and you wake up with this robot telling you have to help us. You're the chosen one. And he gives you the clothes and he gives you the hat, and just as he gives you the hat, a seagull grabs it and buggers off with it, and that's the tutorial, is you chasing down this seagull to get the hat back. Then as I say, there's puzzle rooms in it that are really difficult, but there's no combat so far that I can find. I don't think it's a combat game. I think it's more of an adventure 2D puzzle platformer game, like a combination of like Braid and Portal, I guess, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
That does sound like it would be really, really good fun.
It is actually good fun. Let's say the only problem I've got at the moment, I just don't quite dig the accuracy. The platforming just doesn't feel accurate enough for me. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I haven't looked at any reviews. I haven't, it just doesn't. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it doesn't quite feel 100% on point, the platforming, whereas everything else feels kind of like really well done. Like it's a really pretty game despite the old style, and I kind of want to see how the new stuff looks rather than in a trailer, like for myself,
Yeah, I mean, that would be my concern, is it's generally accepted it's not overly difficult these days to be able to represent something as if it was from years ago. But if you're trying to make something that is sort of self-aware that it's of a certain graphical level now, I think, especially from sort of the indie side that it is, I'd be kind of concerned that if that final stage, the most recent stage, doesn't look up to scratch, then I think that would be a bit jarring. From
what I've seen, it actually does look really good. I've only seen trailers and stuff that show the final generation, and it does look really cool. And I'm probably going to stick with it, because every time I pick it up to play it, I think I'm just going to have a quick blast, and I end up losing an hour, or half an hour, I suppose. And there's just enough to keep you going. There's a lot of lore in here that I must admit I'm not really fussed with. It just kind of passes me by. But that's a Pixel story. Thanks very much for your time, Stubbsy, and we'll see you in the next video.